The views expressed on this podcast are based on a satirical and at times comical view of the subject matter. So don't get your panties in a wad. Live long and prosper, fuckers. Let's get the show started.
This is the Tempest universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
This is actually take 2 of Wednesday's episode. I'm not even sure. I've been testing this thing for a couple days now. And if you didn't hear about it, which most of you probably have, because even after I delete an episode from the podcast host, it actually still goes everywhere. There's no way to stop it. It's like a runaway fucking train. But I had a Windows update last Tuesday night. Didn't expect anything was going to go wrong. And then Wednesday, the microphone is acting up. So due to some due diligence here and some help from Dave from Dananda, it turns out that the DirectX for Windows was fucking up the mic. It literally was doing some weird stuff. So there you go. We're using a different driver. So hopefully this works out and we don't have any clicks and all that kind of stuff in the audio. But welcome to the Tempest Universe. I'm your host, Manny. And this is take 2. Numero dos. We're going to try this one more time. Hopefully without any errors or problems. This podcast, which is going to be Groundhog Day for some of you. We've got 4 articles we're going to talk about. MUFON, Chris Brown, Tamworth, out in the UK, and people just being fucking arrogant. I'm just saying, that's just the way it is. You might have heard that little intro in the beginning. I have to do that for the people who are somewhat simple and don't read the description of the podcast. It is a satirical view of ufology. Yes, because ufology's fucked up. It's crazy, it's hilarious at times, and really fucking sad at other times. So, I'm giving you a warning. Stop screwing around. I'm not here to read articles for you. I will give you highlights of articles, because that's what we do right now. Either interviews or highlights of articles. Once in a while, we'll take a trip back to the old UFO stories, which I really don't care too much of, but sometimes there's correlations, right? We find connections to UFO incidents today within what I like to call the legacy incidents. Hopefully, when we finally get a report out by these government agencies, it may or may not answer some questions. I don't know. It's very possible that we will just have that many more questions after that comes out. Not that we're really going to see this report, unless someone goes in there. Unless somebody goes in there like, To the Stars Academy and steals a report and puts it out there unredacted, what are we going to do? What are we really going to do? We got no choice. We got to go with what they give us. And chances are it's not going to be a whole hell of anything. Because the truth is, it's the world's best kept secret. And it will remain that way even after this report in a few months. So it is what it is. What can you do? Just as a reminder, the Tinfoil Hat is still going on. If you look at the description, Tinfoil Hat 3 contest, it ends March 31st. Right. Bugs is behind me right now. So you've got exactly 17 days to get your tinfoil hat on and get some merch out of it. You are definitely, prizes 1 and 2 will be Avi Love's book regarding his opinion that we were visited by an alien probe. And I'm sure he's got other shit in there. You know what? I gotta admit, man, I've got got 3 copies of the book here, and I haven't read not one book. It's always a fucking emergency. Something's always going on. I got to put out some fires somewhere, and I never get a chance to read the fucking book. And I wanted to read one and then pass it off to somebody else so that, you can check it out. Read the damn book. I know back in UFO Buster radio days, we had the idea of taking the book, and have the listeners pass it from one person to the next. But, the whole thing is shipping's involved. Nobody wants to shell out $5 to get it to the next person. So I get it. I understand. Times are hard. We got Shittergate. We got COVID-19. And in Texas, we had Snowgate. Or Snowvid is what some people call it. But I don't know. What can you do? I mean, it is what it is. But we're here to enjoy the topic as it is today, along with space and everything else that's funny as fuck when it comes to ufology. There's a lot of funny shit out there. I'm just going to be honest with you. But, some people take it too seriously. They put all of their time and effort and almost make it into a quasi-career to research UFOs and read up on this, read up on that, take new perspectives on these legacy incidents, trying to figure out what the hell went down. A lot of times it's a waste of fucking time. And you're really proud about the time you wasted, but nobody's trying to hear that. I don't have time for that. Who does? For fuck's sake. But we are today going to do take 2 of the episode from last Wednesday. And the only way to start this off is to play some music. So let's hit it.
Sing for me sweet lullabies. Bright nights, an everlasting dark.
Now, usually the Asgardians are on here because I'm usually doing this live at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, or Central, if you like it to do it the short way. But we've got the Norms on here. He made it. He's on here live. Listen, that was a perfect song to get this thing back on track, getting the mic fixed. But I do have an announcement that next Wednesday, we're going to be doing the Bring Your Own Conspiracy Night to the podcast. Again, 9:30 Central PM. And you can call in. And I'll announce that on Wednesday as far as how you can get in there. Really, for you guys who have Skype, that is the best way to do it. Let's just be honest about that. But if you want to call in, there is a number. It's always in the description of the podcast, so you can use a cell phone instead if you need to. But it will be kind of like an open mic situation. Folks are going to call in. They're going to give their own conspiracies, whatever the hell they think about. You know, COVID. It could be like anything having to do with tinfoil hats, weather control, you know, freaking Antarctica if you need to. If you want to talk about Antarctica and all the shit that might be there. Okay, listen, by the way, I did find something in my data that about 2 weeks ago, there was one listen from Antarctica. Who in the flying fuck is down there that's listening to UFO Buster Radio? They're basically in the center of most of the conspiracies when it comes to aliens down in Antarctica. So why are you listening to me for? You should be running the podcast up here. Anyway, that's what we're doing next Wednesday. So if you want to tune in live, 9:30 p.m. Central, it's going to be here on Spreaker.com. Don't tune in at 9:30 on iTunes. It won't be live there. Don't tune in on YouTube. No, it's not going to be. It'll be live only on Spreaker.com. Then it ends up getting published everywhere else. Nothing I can do about that right now. That's how we're rolling. But for now, let's get into our first article, which, to be honest, is no big deal, except someone finally admitted to something. If you're new to the topic of UFOs and maybe something caught your eye and you decided, well, shit, let me just research this. Let me get into what is going on. Why do we have the government involved? Why is the military admitting to we have no idea what's flying in our skies? Why is that happening? There is a long trip that you can take back, spanning fucking decades. Almost a whole fucking century if you want. This article, which is from nextgov.com, is actually from a podcast that actually looked at it kind of like taking some critical look at the topic of UFOs and things that are happening recently. They happen to have had on their podcast, somehow, I don't know, how the fuck they pulled this off, I don't get it, but Harry Reid, that's right, out in Nevada, Harry Reid, retired senator, is a, I want to say he's a mover and a shaker when it comes to UFOs. We didn't know this. We didn't know this until some emails were leaked back when Hillary was running. That's how we found out, right before Trump took office. But that's a whole different story. But in that time frame, a lot of information got out. A lot of people in government, their name got dropped as far as people who are interested in UFOs. Harry Reid being one of them. Then we learned about ATIP, which was the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. We learned that there were some fascinating things happening there. Then we ended up with To the Stars Academy. And the hits just kept on coming, man. They released videos. People were fucking wondering what the hell was going on. The government finally, after several attempts at releasing videos, they finally had to say, we don't know what the fuck that is. Basically, that's what they said. And so now we're waiting on a report to Congress from all these alphabet agencies regarding what the hell is going on. And of course, there's also, in this waiting period, the CIA decided, I'm gonna put this shit out now. And a couple months ago, they released their UFO files. there's craziness going. But if you need to catch up, let me get back to the topic here. If you need to catch up, you can do it through this article. It's called "Let's Talk About UFOs," and it has a perspective there from Harry Reid. You know, first thing he opened up with was the fact that pilots, and not just military pilots, but commercial pilots, were afraid to report UFOs. We actually saw last week there was a UFO sighting by a commercial aircraft pilot. In the past, if you were in the military, you wanted to keep your career intact, you would not talk about what the hell you saw. You keep your damn mouth shut. If you were a commercial pilot, the last thing you want to do is to walk up to Delta's headquarters and say, hey, I saw a UFO, and I just want to tell you about it. 'Cause I don't know if anybody else has, but I have an interest in it. You'll be fucked. Literally, you'd be the guy that was toasting the peanuts to put in the little bags to hand out to people after that. So you just didn't do it. And so we know that not too far ago, that, the military made it easier for pilots to report not UFOs, but the branded name that they're using to get away from the stigma, I assume, is unidentified aerial phenomena. Again, potatoes, same shit. The thing that the article wants to let people know is the fact that when it comes to the topic of UFOs, people are fucking arrogant. They really are. Not arrogant in that they know it all, but that they don't want to change that. They know what they know. This is what they were trained. This is what they think. This is the way they see things. And they're too damn arrogant to move away from that. Harry Reid himself said that what happened from ATIP and anything else that's come since then is that people have realized that you're not just getting 10 reports of people seeing UFOs. You're not getting 100. You're getting thousands. And when he's talking about these reports, he's talking about here in the United States. He's not including everywhere else where this is happening. The main problem is people attach this to little green men. You say you see a UFO, and people snicker at you. They make stupid sounds like that. They give you that lazy eye look, There's no need for that, jackass. Just look at the news. Just look at it. It's everywhere. This is no longer something that should be attached to some kind of stigma. It's a real deal. And if your government is telling you, we don't know what the fuck it is, then you should be concerned. You should be. You've seen Independence Day. Are we supposed to wait until the big spaceship shows up and blows up the White House? I don't think so. But that's the same for any country. Are you going to wait until the big spaceship blows up all over your capital? It's Bucks in the background. I don't know if you can hear him. This new driver is not as sensitive as the other one. In this article, there's also a quote there from a Dr. Joseph Pesci. He's an astrophysicist and program director of the National Science Foundation. And he said this, plain and simple, I understand the universe around us is part of, and that we're a part in it. But he says the likelihood of multiple out-of-this-world possibilities, including the existence of life in outer space and UFOs' potential to make it to Earth. He says space travel is very difficult for many reasons. Again, that's the arrogant way to look at things. It is very difficult for us because we're very, as a species, we're very limited in what we know. So for us, for fuck's sake, it's horrible. Just look at Elon. Look at Boca Chica and see how many of those fucking test rockets they've lost. That shit's hard. But he goes like this. He says, I'm not arrogant enough to think that we know everything about nature and the universe and the laws of nature. You're somewhat arrogant. I get it. Some of us are. Maybe just a little here and there. We might have reason to be. But still, You've got to keep an open mind, especially in science. But we luckily are seeing a lot of people coming out of the woodworks, especially like Avi Loeb, and saying, hey, be open to the idea, because we are just a small pinprick in a gigantic Olympic-sized pool, and we can't assume we know it all. And people still do. They really do. It's just crazy how much of an arrogant a-hole a scientist can be when it comes to this topic. I'm just saying. I mean, you guys, come on. Just be open-minded. That's all we need. We're not going to figure it out that way. Just be honest about the whole thing. Yeah. What's up, Green Man? Green Man is in the live chat. There you go. Another Asgardian has arrived. The article is there, and it's a great article because it does bring in things that have happened, maybe in the last 4 or 5 years regarding UFOs, ufology, and you've got to basically, if you're stumbling on this for the first time, fucking research it. But the good thing is, it's a hot topic now, so you don't got to go deep. You don't got to go deep into the woods. You don't got to dive into dark water. The shit's already here. Everyone's done the work for you. You're good to go. You get caught up in no time. But if you want to a little deeper, sure, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Spend hours and hours looking through all kind of crazy publications and articles that just basically try to sell you on their point of view. All you got to know, shit's happening. It's on the way. And hopefully we get some real answers out of this, though I doubt it'll be a whole lot. The link is in the description. Check out this next track.
Where have you been? It's like I waited all my life, so happy that I found you. I'm paper thin. I haven't always been this shy, but haven't felt this in a while now. So sad when we are apart. If you leave, you break my heart. I need you to need me too. Stay with me when it's getting dark. Hold me tight, close in your arms. I want you to want me too. Why is it so hard to just be honest? Why is it so hard to speak the truth? Why is it so hard to just be honest when I want this? Maybe you want it too, so I just need to tell you. I just need to tell you. See the sun in the shadow all my life, but I finally see the light. I give myself to you. I want to get this right. Haven't felt this in a while now. So sad when we are apart. If you leave, you break my heart. I need you to need me too. Stay with me when it's getting dark. Hold me tight, close in your arms. I want you to want me too. Why is it so hard to just be honest? Why is it so hard to speak the truth? Why is it so hard to just be honest when I want this? Maybe you want it too, so I just need to tell you. I just need to tell you. Why is it so hard to be? Why is it so hard to be honest? To be honest. Why is it so hard to be? Why is it so hard to be honest?
Don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the
dumb
money?
fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat and.
This is crazy because I've been seeing like a lot of labeling of podcasts and stuff like that, like NSFW, not safe for work. This podcast is definitely safe for work, folks. Let me just tell you. As a matter of fact, if you're listening and one of these songs come up, like The Wiz on YouTube was asking me, "Hey Manny, what is that song you play? What's that first song?" So of course I let him know what it was, but he was digging it. And I'm sure if you're sitting there and you're like, going at it, bobbing your head and maybe agreeing or disagreeing to some of the shit I say. I understand. You don't got to agree with me. That's not what the podcast is about. You can have your own damn opinion. But do you know how good it would look if you have that smile on your face and you're just working away like one of those 7 little elves? How good it would be for your manager to see that. The podcast, it is absolutely fantastically good for you. And even more while you're at work, at your desk, at the shitter, at the, water station. I don't know what the fuck, whatever you're at. Whatever you're doing, this is the podcast for you. Trust me. It'll make your day and it'll make your coworkers' day as well. One thing that I like to hear is stories from all around the world, whether it be, South Africa or, New Zealand, somewhere else besides the U.S. That's what I want to listen to. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to share. Probably the second most popular place for UFOs, and it could be even tied with Canada. I don't know. But for me, in the reports that I see, number 2 would have to be the UK. The UK has a lot of UFO stories. Now, if you listen to Nick Popette, he'll tell you none of that shit was ever really confirmed. No one really in the government believes in UFOs. I think they're going to change that tune here shortly, pretty much. But these stories that I'm going to talk about today came out of Staffordshire, and they actually occurred in Tamworth. I don't know if you live out there, folks. If you live in Tamworth, because it is the second highest country that listens to UFO Buster Radio, I want to hear from you. Staffordshire, what's up? What's going on? Where are these UFOs coming from? Really? There was a Freedom of Information Act that was submitted asking for UFO reports coming out of Staffordshire from January 1st, 2020 through November 29th, 2020. Now, it doesn't say why specifically it was November 29th. I have a feeling somebody out in the UK in Staffordshire had a specific incident they were looking for, and they decided, well, fuck it, just give me the whole year. Just let me know what the hell's going on. The funny thing is that there were 6 reports altogether, but half of them came from Tamworth. Why is this important? Well, simply is the size of the population. The population in Staffordshire, as of, I believe this was, like 2020, 2021. It doesn't really say, but in Staffordshire, 1.1 million citizens. In Tamworth, only 76,000 as of 2019. So there's a complete, humongous difference in population. So yeah, one would think, what the hell is going on in Tamworth? They only got like 80,000 people. Why do they have so many UFO sightings? Lucky for us, this particular FOIA request was sent to the government to report on what the police was getting. And so, yeah. So as you can imagine, this is not, it's just going to be weird. All right, so the first one that was reported, because, it's not that many, so shit. They actually put it in the article for us. Now, here's the thing that they did clarify on the parameters of the report, right? The parameters were this. The reports must include correspondence made by members of the public or employees, officers mentioning UFOs, UAPs, lights in the sky, aliens, and extraterrestrial beings. Nothing in there about probing. I mean, listen, you got to get it all. And if someone's being abducted and they're reporting that and they say it's aliens, that is a factor. If someone says, I feel like I got probed last night by an alien, that should be in here. You're missing a good segment of this. Let's be honest. But anyway, that's what they requested. And so this was what they got. The very first one was in April of last year. And there was a concern for the welfare of a depressed individual. Now listen, you can't always say that people who are depressed can mention aliens. They have a mental problem. I just got finished saying that. And the first one, that's like being arrogant. You're freaking being arrogant. You're being an asshole. So the first one was, there was a welfare call to the Staffordshire police because a depressed individual had reported or reportedly mentioned aliens. We're all fucking depressed. Everybody that deals with an alien, we're depressed. Maybe that's why in the U.S. Biden is moving to not use the word illegal aliens anymore, because that's just depressing. Maybe that's where the connection is. I just got it just now. Yeah, so aliens, you're depressed. You got mental problems. You need meds. You need lithium. You need some uppers. I mean, we got to fix you. That was the first report. So far, this FOIA report, it's not so hot. The second report out of Tamworth occurred in July of last year, and a caller reported seeing a large triangular shaped ship. What the fuck? Somebody fuck up my microphone. With 3 creamy white lights under each corner. Literally, that's what it says. 3 creamy white lights. The fuck is a creamy white light? Like, really, at first, I was like 3 creamy. For fuck's sake, I thought for sure it was going to be 3 creamy aliens, looking out of a window or something. And no, the lights were creamy. Tamworth, people, Staffordshire, what the fuck is that? What's a creamy white light? I don't get it. Was it oozing? I don't know. That makes sense. But anyway, this could be the famed TR-3B. Now, it's good to see that it's not just in the U.S. where we have triangular craft. So there you go. More power to you. FOIA is a go. 1-1. We're tied. Here's a third one. In Tamworth, back in October, not too long ago, an intoxicated individual made an abusive call to the police referencing a number of unrelated topics, including being abducted by aliens. There you go. I mean, it's perfect, right? Either you're a fucking alcoholic and you're down with aliens, or you're depressed as fuck and you see and you want to talk about aliens. This FOIA request is not very appealing to those that want to believe. I'm just saying, this was not a win. This was not a win at all. There's more about the other stuff that was reported within the FOIA request, and maybe it might lead to other, news reports, stuff like that. But that's just the way it is. Check out the link in the description. Tamworth, Staffordshire. What is really going on? You have 1 good report out of 3. The rest, I just don't know. I don't know.
1, 2, 3. Love should be easy. Why should it not? When all you want is to be loved, is to be loved. But love ain't easy. You taught me that. I let you in, now you want out, now you want out. I don't understand why you hurt me. I don't understand why you wanna let me down. Can't understand. Was it all
contains adult language. There are 17 swear words carefully placed throughout. Kids, can you find them?
By the way, here's an announcement. Tomorrow, the Dark Horde podcast will be back. It'll be late. I feel it might even be later than 9:30 Central Standard. But I am taking a trip down to Galveston, Texas, going down to stay at the Hotel Galvez in early April. And, you know, there's a big history of hauntings in that place. Like serious, you know, hauntings from stuff that happened during that unnamed hurricane that killed, you know, thousands of people. So we're going to revisit Galveston. We did that last year. We took like a ghost tour. And I came back and talked about it. But this time we're going to stay at the hotel because the tour that we took was not by the Seawall Boulevard or whatever the fuck that is. But we'll go down to Galveston, stay there. We got some stuff we're going to take with us, record a little here, a little there, and see what happens. See if we pick up, because the stories of the place actually tell you where these, ghostly remnants of that situation, where they can be spotted and where they've been seen and where they repeatedly are reported by folks that stay at the hotel. So we'll see what happens. One night only at the Hotel Galvez. And by the way, it is a really nice hotel, by the way. It's not like a Motel 6 where they leave the light on. So who knows? Who knows what's going to go down? I think this is the second article that I touched upon. Going to have the technical issues, and that was a story about MUFON. So MUFON, apparently the board of directors voted to move the entire organization over to Cincinnati, near the Lunken Airport. So it's, you know, they moved it. It's gone. It's over there now, and they are looking for people to join. Now it's just. MUFON has just been all over the place in the last, 6-7 years. They're just out there now. They really are. And I really have, and I would say in about the last 10 years, moved away from MUFON altogether, because they're just not the same. You know, they went from training people to be, UFO field investigators to dealing with secret space programs and being led by a pedophile. Just things like that. I don't understand. And they're money hungry too. Listen, in order for you to become a field investigating trainee, it costs about $180, because you also got to be a member of MUFON. But they're looking for people. Maybe you should lower your prices or don't charge shit at all. I'm just saying. MUFON, who, from what I believe, is a non-profit, so I don't get it. I mean, non-profits got to live too, I understand. Anyway, the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON, apparently is internationally known, but not known to Microphone. Did I say that right? Rocket Microphone. Microphone, I don't know. You can tell it's 2:46 here in Texas. Time to get the vodka out. But anyway, they are recognized all over the world, especially in all 50 states and 46 countries, boasting over 4,200 members and about 80,000 monthly email subscribers and 100,000 website visitors. And I bet you it used to be a lot more, because their database used to be free at one point, and then they started charging for it. So I'm sure that's caused quite a drop to their visitors. But they're not going to admit that. Not at all. Here's another one where the new executive director, David McDonald, is touting the fact that we have some excitement when it comes to UFOs. And he basically goes over everything that we talked about in the first article, everything that's been happening. And it's the truth. Like, some people are going as far as saying that this is the golden age of ufology. I wouldn't even go that far because if MUFON represents the golden age, we're fucked. I'm just going to keep it honest with you. And he talks about the Israeli ex-space administrator that talked about, space in his recent biography. He goes on to also talk about the Tic Tac. He goes around and he mentions that things are happening high in ranking intelligence areas, how people and agencies are having to report what they know to the Pentagon and the task force for Congress. It's all old news, but they're trying to capitalize on it. But if you want to join and you want to be a field investigator and get your little handbook and go out there and tell people the dating sea shit, it was all, swamp gas, $180 is all it'll cost you. You could join the Tempest Universe field manual, and it wouldn't cost you more than $10. You get yourself a cheap-ass notebook at a dollar store. You get yourself a good pen, really good pen that writes in the rain, just in case you're out there and it's raining. So that'll cost you $5. There's $6. And maybe get yourself a flashlight or two. There you go, $10, you're done. You're an official field investigator. And if you feel froggy, you might spend another $10 and get yourself an alien t-shirt. You're good to go. What else do you need? Honestly, listen, I'd rather join Igor Ashabelli and the Asgardians than to join MUFON. I'd rather be one of those folks that's not even going to make it into their next steps of being in low orbit. Let's just be honest about that. I wouldn't join MUFON if it was free. But that's just me. A lot of people love MUFON. They feel that it's been around for a long time, and it would be worth to be one of their so-called, quote-unquote, MUFON Observation Corps. If you can stomach it, I guess. But the link is in the description in case you want to join and spend. If you got $180 around and you don't know what to spend it on, your bellies are full, your family's clothed, and you got no bills, well, for fuck's sake, MUFON might be the thing to do. I don't know. But, not dead or alive, but I'd join MUFON.
Sit back, enjoy the ride.
last article for today. At least I made it through without any technical issues, but it might be too soon to say that. Chris Brown says aliens will help us break free from this mental cage. I don't know what mental cage he's talking about. Where are they housing Chris Brown when he's not on stage? What the hell's going on? What kind of a prisoner is he? Apparently, over the years, Chris Brown has made a lot of statements which people might see as out-of-this-world conspiracies, even though he's touted as being really creative, a great dancer and singer. He gives no fucks about sharing his opinions about conspiracies. And he really, apparently, on IG, Instagram, he's even going as far as saying that aliens are going to save the fucking planet. I'm probably one of the only people that you hear on the podcast that says, if an alien shows up, guns out. You got to take care of them. You got to let them know not to fuck with us. Because they will. Just like when you were a little kid, you were stomping on fucking anthills. Killing all kind of bugs, pulling tails off of lizards. That's what's going to happen to us if some alien superpower comes down and wants to take over the planet. They don't even have to take over the planet. They could just be fucking bullies. They could be the Klingons of our time. They might just be wanting to have a few probes from the hairless monkeys and just have their way with us. I know, it's a cynical way to look at it, but for fuck's sake, everyone else is all happy-go-lucky about aliens. I really think there's got to be warrior-class aliens out there ready to fuck with any sentient life that they come across. I mean, why not? Come on, join me in it. I think it's true. I really do. I think there's some evil-ass intentioned aliens out there that we need to be, afraid of or be ready for in case we need to rip some heads off and have their blue goo of blood just, spread all over the place. Anyway, he says basically that he actually hopes the government isn't speaking on behalf of aliens, and says a cosmic disclosure will help us to get to the right path/frequency with the planet and break us free from this mental cage. But what do I know? Apparently, a lot of people have a lot of negative reactions. Oh, God, just go dance. You just go dance, Chris. We don't need to hear this. When's your next album? Yeah, a lot of people don't want to listen to what he has to say. And, that's the truth for anyone that has conspiracies, anyone that wants to use their platform for aliens when all they really do is entertain. They get some of the folks that say, shut the fuck up. Just do what you're supposed to do. Now, it is what it is. The guy can have an opinion. I get it, but for fuck's sake, do you really think that anyone but the government is speaking on behalf of the nations of the world? No. No, Chris. And if they have their way, you will be probed too. In many different ways. Over the years, apparently, Chris has also kind of shaken up the fan base by sharing some of his conspiracies. Back in 2018, he took a shot at NASA. Fuck, everybody is. Why is it if Chris Brown does it, it makes the news? He says, stop believing in NASA. He suggested that he also believed in flat Earth. There may be just a little too much happening inside of Chris Brown's head. Somebody might need to go in there and just clear up the cobwebs. Listen, you want to talk about aliens? I got it. It's a big universe. But if you want to say that the planet is fucking flat, how can that be? How can we be the only flat planet in our solar system? It just makes no sense to me. But Chris, you do what you do. You keep dancing and doing your thing and having crazy thoughts in your head. I get it. It's all good. It's all good. He has other conspiracies he's talked about on his social media, right? He actually has a video about chemtrails. That's another big one when it comes to conspiracies. People are all over the fact that we are being doused with chemicals, or as part of population control or weather control. I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Now, could all these things be happening? Fuck yeah, they can. We're just people. We're just people that produce and we live day by day. We're the ants of our own societies. Just be honest about that. They will do whatever they got to. In 2014, he went as far as to say that Ebola was a form of population control. There is no limit to what Chris is thinking about. Maybe that's where he gets the fuel to dance and sing is from his conspiracies. Maybe we need him to keep on with the conspiracies. Otherwise, he's going to lose his talent. Otherwise, he'll just be a regular guy just like us. So there's no doubt about it. Chris he's got to be spending some time somewhere in his mansion, sitting around in dark corners, going over all these things. Probably has like about 40 or 50 books where he writes his stuff into. But he's not alone. There are hundreds of thousands of people, especially on these subjects, that think the same way Chris does. So for you that believe the earth is flat, you've got a new leader. His name is Chris Brown. Very doubtful he's going to strap himself to a rocket and blow himself up. But this guy here could be the face of flat earth. I can see it now. It's all coming together beautifully. The Ebola thing, the NASA thing, chemtrails, for fuck's sake. I don't know where the fuck he's reading, but he must have gotten this from somewhere and took it as factual. So there you go, Chris Brown, the next celebrity to stick out their neck and anus to the idea that there's a lot of crazy, because I wonder what he thinks about reptilians eating people or babies. That one I found kind of strange. That the Illuminati reptilians and the Illuminati are, eating babies. What else can you do? I can't do anything with this. I'm sorry. Life is too fucking short to be worried about, Illuminatis and flat earth and shit like that. Unless you got some serious fucking coin and you could get your ass up into space and actually see the planet from afar. Then you can talk shit. Until then, until a flat earther is able to do that, I'm cool. I will not believe that I'm sitting on a turtle until I see it. This is the end of the podcast. I think we made it through. I think the signal is clear. Tomorrow, like I said, the Dark Horde podcast will be back on. We've got some stuff we got to talk about. We've got to clear the air on Galveston. That's going to be our aim. Prepare everyone for what we may or may not find when we're visiting in April. And really, this is what I think the Dark Horde podcast should be. It should be about going places and visiting. So the Dark Horde podcast might go to once a month so that I can, get a trip ready to go out and investigate. There's also a house in Galveston, on the island of Galveston, that is known as the Devil's Gateway. I'm not sure I can get anyone to go with me to the Devil's Gateway, but I'm going to find out exactly where the house is when I visit in April, and I might have to take a return trip to check out the Devil's Gateway, but we'll see. But apparently the story is that there's a portal that opens up in the place, and it's a portal to Beelzebub's living room. I'm just saying, it's a crazy place to be, I'm sure. And actually, one of the guides that we talked to last year will not go to that house. Who stays away from it, and a lot of the other guides as well will not take tours to that house. Perfect place for me to go, I can tell you that much. Sounds like a fucking blast. Folks, time for me to check out. Catch you next week on the Tempest Universe and tomorrow on the Dark Horde. Ciao.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn. be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. I don't give a damn, I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn, you talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn, I don't give a damn, damn, damn. 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 You're mad at me for not giving you comfort. You say that I'm away so much and now you don't feel the way you felt when we were younger. But that's okay for me, 'cause I don't give a damn, I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn, you talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn, I don't give a damn, damn, damn. I don't give a damn, damn, damn. I don't give a damn, damn, damn. I don't give a damn, damn, damn.